Flags. This has been boiling for a while. This ain't all about the NASCAR removing Confederate flags, which is absolutely goddamn silly on the face of it. I mean, NASCAR and Dixie flags and rebel flags and Confederate flags go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. They had one black driver in the last 10 years, and that dude quit. They had, like, I don't know if they have a current one, but they had almost no women drivers. You can take that flag away from NASCAR, but you're not fooling me. I know that it's still NASCAR. And this ain't all about that. This is about assigned values and symbology and respecting other people's opinions. This is what this is about. If you hating on somebody for displaying a flag, and it doesn't matter if it's a Dixie flag, or if it's a United States flag, or if it's fucking pride flag for that matter. You're not hating on them for their flag. You're hating on them for the values that you yourself have assigned to that symbology. You're hating based on the symbology you yourself have assigned to that thing. It's exactly like if before you call somebody a redneck, a racist, a Klansman, or whatever, try this. You know in your mind what that sign, that symbol represents to you. How about you go to them and you ask them what it represents to them? I guarantee you that it does not represent to them the same qualities that you have assigned to it. And if it does, well, it's goodness. Thank God we have the Second Amendment, because obviously they're a maniac, cannibal, child cooking, skull fucking cannibal, or something terrible. And thank God we got the Second Amendment for those kind of people. But you realize Kaepernick, however you pronounce his name, that football player dude, the take a knee dude, you realize when you're doing that, when you see some guy, he's probably a sticker on the back of his truck somewhere, and you see it and you don't think there's a Dixie flag. No, you don't think that. You think immediately, there's a Confederate flag. You realize what you're doing there is exactly the same damn thing that you criticize people for, that fit that stereotype, that obvious stereotype, you know, kind of redneck, backwoods looking guys with the pickup trucks. You don't know them, you just know how they look. That's the exact same thing you reckon most of those guys do when they see Kaepernick kneeling on a flag. Oh my God, he needs to be dragged out in the street and beaten with dead cats or something because he's disrespecting my flag. That's un-American. You see, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they don't give a shit about the assigned values and purpose that Kaepernick is doing that thing for. They only care about themselves and what they would do that for. That's the exact same thing you're doing when you do that to their Dixie flag. Your peas in a pod, go shake their hands, suck their dick. You can give each other reach arounds because you're buddies, because you're peers. You're on the same fucking page, like it or not. Flags. Moving right along. Let's talk. Let me tell you a little something about flags. Flags in general. These flags, I don't give a shit what they represent, what country, what people, what what region, what they represent, they are not to be strictly celebrated. And you have to be an absolute moron to believe that all these flags are to be strictly celebrated. Even take, for instance, the rainbow, the LGBTQ rainbow pride flag. Sure, you can look at it and you can think, oh, fabulous. That's part of it, sure. But these things are not meant to be celebrated. These things are to be remind us of what happened. These things are to also, they're to draw community together. They're for communities. But when you see, like, for instance, the pride flag, what you should be thinking of when you see that, you should be reminded of how many people died. You should be reminded of how awful things were. You should be reminded of the bad choices people have made. You should think about things like how many people committed suicide. Things like that one son of a bitch that went in and shot up fucking Club Pulse. How many people died at the beginning of the AIDS epidemic? If you're not, you should look that up, actually. Go read some first-hand accounts of the AIDS epidemic hitting the United States. But no flag is to be strictly celebrated. When I look at the Dixie flag, and I don't display the Dixie flag, I don't need to. I've got it right here. When I see the Dixie flag, I think of, you know, the horrible shit. Part of it is the Civil War and slavery. My ancestors owned slaves. Yes, motherfuckers around here owned slaves. Slavery was bad, fucking awful. It's a part of our heritage. It really fucking happened. It's not, woohoo, let's shoot our guns in the air and celebrate it. No, it ain't. No flag is. Now, if I see you flying that flag and you live in Maine, I'm gonna think you're a fucking Klansman or some shit. So if you live in Ohio or Maine or New York and you fly that flag, I'm gonna look at you funny. I'll look at you like you're a potential fucking monster or something. But no, instead of jumping in somebody's shit, why don't you ask them what their assigned values are? And I don't believe for one instance that 99% of people are so goddamn stupid that they don't understand that flags are not to be celebrated. They're window-licking morons to believe that. But it seems like the majority of people play it off and act like they're legitimately that stupid. I think what's going on there is that they're just, what is the word for it? Not white knighting, virtue signaling. They're virtue signaling in the pursuit of Nuki. They're taking advantage. They're exploiting stupid people to get their dick wet. Because if they thought about this subject, flags, sigils, symbology, if they thought about that shit for a minimum of, I think, probably 5 minutes, they would realize not all flags are to be fucking celebrated. It's not fucking a big fucking happy face sticker, you fucking idiots. I believe they're fucking virtue signaling, trying to exploit stupid people. They don't give a flying fuck about the people that were harmed during history. During the course of history, there's things that flags represent. I don't believe they give a flying fuck about any of that. They're just virtue signaling to get their dicks wet on stupid Nuki. And I'm going to stand by that. I have an open mind. Anybody can say whatever they want to. I can be turned around. I can be convinced. If you have a compelling argument, I will change my mind, and I will post another video, and I will say, hey, I was wrong. You know, I used to think this, but now because I'm rational and logical and of sound mind, I have received evidence and other stuff, and I've looked at this thing both ways, all around, and I have changed my mind. I can do that. Some of y'all that's hating on flags, I'm not sure some of y'all can do that.